chance to be ruthless.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. Make some progress, I can see that they compare. I think everyone's against me, maybe something in the air. Am I paranoid? I swear a void is forming and they're scared. I walk a straight path, not many can say that. I like to play fast, cross me and there's payback. You better pray that I don't see your face at any place that I go. I know you hate that. I've been doing fine, I'm not wasting any more time. I live for the fight and the climb. I think that the pain that's deep inside is what defines. So I won't give up, I'm gonna make it to the top. I don't care what's in my way, I swear I'm never gonna stop. I could fall flat on my face and I swear I will get back up. Cause I don't deserve a thing and the road ahead is tough. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the page. We are back, and on the screen in front of us, you see a schedule. That is our championship season schedule, which we are about to get underway with here in about 8 minutes' time. So, what we brought this season for everybody is a multi-class championship. We have brought out the LMPH cars and the Group 3 class, and we're going to race them together. Now, the championship is designed for up to 3 lobbies, currently only sitting on 1 lobby, which means registration is still open and spots are still available. There is only a couple of spots left on the Monday time slot, but there is a whole 2 days on Tuesday and Thursday still available for registration, and that link is pinned in the comments below here in the channel. If you're interested, go take a look. That link will give you all the details for the championship right up front and right in your face, essentially. So on the screen in front of us is our schedule for the season, and we start tonight. We currently don't have all 3 lobbies running, so we are just running our Monday night's time slot here for the time being. That could change as the season progresses. And this should be an interesting one. We're going to be throwing out the Toyota GR010 up against basically an open pick for the Group 3 drivers, with, of course, some cars not allowed, VGTs, and a certain handful of cars just not allowed to race here today. So pretty par for the course when it comes to championships. We try to keep it as real world as possible. So what we're going to see this season is all real world tracks, and we've got a spicy mid-season race as well for everybody. So should be interesting. So there we go. What's up, Nolander? Let's grow. Howdy, y'all. I think we are well. All right, looks like our last driver has just made it in. So, we've seen a little bit of this racing recently from Race Asylums to Multiclass Racing, and we're taking a little bit of a page out of their book with our qualifying. So we're going to have a 20-minute qualifying run here today to start our event off with, and we're going to send out the Toyota GR10s, or the LMPH class, out first. They're going to run the first 10 minutes of qualifying. Once that 10-minute timer runs up, they will remove themselves from the track back to pit lane, and the Group 3 class will be released, and they will, of course, qualify until the checkered flag. From there, of course, we move to the grid and we start a 1-hour endurance race. The weather is completely random this season, so the drivers do need to have wet tires stocked up, especially today at Spa. It could happen, and we don't know what's going to happen with the random weather. It's anybody's guess. So it is a medium tire requirement here for this round of racing, and the tire requirement is it just has to hit the racetrack, so they only have to use it for 1 lap. It can be literally the first lap and ditch it if that's what they want to do and move on. In the case of rain, there needs to be 33% moisture on the moisture meter, in-game moisture meter, before we void the tire mandate. I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue here today. I suspect we're going to see a lot of medium tires ran here on this racetrack today, but I could be wrong. Of course, the LMPH cars are going to be significantly faster than the Group 3 cars, roughly about 10 to 15 seconds, depending on the driver. And closing speeds are going to be incredibly fast. And if one of these LMPH cars catches up to one of the Group 3 cars in one of the technical sectors here at the infield part of Spa, it's going to make it very, very tricky and interesting for the navigation. So the rule in place this season is the blue flag car, in this case the Group 3 class car, is to just maintain its line, and it's up to the LMPH car to find a safe way around. Now, in behind the scenes, we have made up a list of ideal blue flag areas to let these LMPH cars through easily without costing yourself too much time, but that is not always going to be the case for these drivers. Sometimes these LMPH guys are going to catch up into the GT3 drivers in awkward spots, so that's going to make things interesting. This is the first time we've attempted a multi-class series here at GT45 Gaming, now known as GT45 Gaming Motorsports, with our championships, and it should be interesting. So we're about 3 minutes away from qualifying here, and we're going to send it GT45 Gaming style, loud, proud, and with some great high-energy commentary for everybody. Hopefully the stream is fixed. We've been having some complications with our equipment lately. This time it was a software issue, not necessarily an equipment issue, but it's all par for the course. It all works together in sequence. So I think we finally got that sorted out just a couple days ago. Finally, I was panicking slightly, but here we are, and we're ready to go. So thank you for coming in. We haven't been live much lately, but I can guarantee you we'll be on live every Monday for the next 10 weeks because minus Easter. We'll be off for Easter break, obviously, so everybody can spend time with their families. But yeah, other than that, it's going to be interesting. We got an all-new point system this year. It's a point per lap for these drivers, and that's how they're going to get points. There's going to be a point for fastest lap and a point for pole position for each class, and a team total. So one LMPH driver is also teamed up with a Group 3 class driver for also a team championship. So there is an individual LMPH championship, there is an individual GT3 championship, and then there is a team championship all in the mix as well. If you come in and you're only a solo driver and you don't have a partner, we can partner you up with one of the other solo drivers. And if you come in as a solo driver, you just won't be eligible for the team aspect of the championship. No harm, no foul, no big deal. At the end of the day, it is still about the individual championships as well. The team aspect was just something a little extra to throw in for fun. May have actually hindered registration slightly, but it is what it is. We got cars on track and we're 1 minute away. 1 minute. Nope, I'm not racing. I never race my own championships. My job is in the booth. No, sir. I never race my own stuff. I'm not exactly sure why this is not working. There we go. All right. Egon is missing a teammate. Bar was his teammate, but Bar can't race Monday nights, unfortunately, so. And I had to schedule everything for Monday because that's when most of the drivers could race. So I kind of just, yeah, also hurt a little bit. It's been a tough championship so far. Hopefully, the racing is as good as we expect it to be. I'm super pumped this is happening. Me too, dude. It's been a long time coming. All right. Big screen. We love the big screen. Yeah, my keyboard does not want to work properly. I can't type today. All right, let's get right to it, shall we? We're actually on time for a change. That rarely happens. Just saying. Ready-ish. Fair enough, JP. Fair enough. All right. All right, so it is going to be our LMPH drivers out first here tonight. So our Toyota GR10s is going to come out for the first 10 minutes of qualifying. They will run 10 minutes of qualifying, and the fastest of the LMPH drivers will be on pole position, and so on and so forth all the way through back, and it'll be the same thing for the GT3 cars in the last 10 minutes of qualifying. So we'll stick with our LMPH guys here. And of course, they're going to set the fastest times first, so we'll see the fastest times come from our first group of cars out on track here today, and then we will see it reverse in the next round of racing. The GR3s will go out first, and the LMPH will go out second, and that just balances out the amount of qualifying time from 1 week to the next that we get. So Let's rock and roll. Welcome in, everybody. I see y'all coming in. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well as well, Pete. Hey, good luck, driver, says Chris. All right, so this is the out lap. So this is an important lap. This is a lap where you just get your tires warmed up. Try not to do the big thing like Mr. Jolly Rancher just did right there. Had a little moment, caught the curb on cold tires, and you've seen how quickly that car can get away from him. So he's going to, reset and try again. These Toyota GR10s are very, very heavy. They're very big. They're very fast cars. And they will roast the back tires off of these things in no time if you are not careful with it under acceleration. And that's all we've seen, just cold tires on this very slippery curbing here at Spa. Created some complications for Jolly Rancher, or also Dark Cobra, for those of you who don't know who Jolly Rancher is. It's just one of his accounts. But it is Jolly Rancher here today, and that makes up Team Devious Rancher, pardon me. And he is paired up with Ten Tenths Miss Devious in the Group 3 Lexus, I believe that she is running. We'll find out when the Group 3ers come out. Alright, so it's going to be Jay set to record the first hot lap time here, hopefully. Dylan had a 3-second penalty for a pit lane exit infraction, so he had to serve that penalty, which allowed Jay to move up into the head of the LMPH cars. And space here is probably more ideal, I think, for qualifying today for these guys than trying to use slipstream. Dirty air obviously is going to hurt your qualifying time potentially if you're not ready for it. And these cars, they punch a pretty big hole in the air, so dirty air might not be your best friend in this situation qualifying. So space for the drivers is always a good thing. Let me know if the audio is a little off too. We haven't streamed in a while, so I don't know if everything's still working properly. That's what the amazing chat is for. Alright, so Jay will be the first recorded time, and then it'll be Dylan in behind, and then Egon, JP, Jolly, and TDC. So we're going to have 6 LMPHs and 5 GT3 cars on track here today. We are missing a teammate for Egon currently, so until then he will be just running as individual, and his points, once he has a teammate, will get added into the team score as well. So I mean, it's not that his points today don't go towards the team score. If we get him we can find him a teammate, then he will his round 1 score will just get added into those teammates' points whenever that time comes. So if you're still interested in racing and you don't have a teammate, feel free to register as a solo driver. There is 2 individual championships at the end of the day up for grabs here. It's a maximum of 21 LMPH cars and a maximum of 21 GT3 cars. And if you don't have a teammate, we'll pair you up with a driver from the other class so you can earn those team points as well. But it's not a mandatory part of the championship. We're just here to have fun at the end of the day. There's no prizes on the line here. So let's see what Jay has as he comes through. It is a 2:01 with a 2-minute flat coming from Dylan there right in behind. So it's going to be Egon to come through next here. And he has JP hot on his chase. JP is going to move up into P2, knocking Egon down to P4. Let's move down to Jolly Rancher here as he comes through. He's going to put him up into 4th place ahead of Egon. And TDC Gaming is going to come through in 5th place up ahead of Egon as well. So our first set of hot laps is underway. We're just about halfway through qualifying, so the drivers will get 2, maybe 3 more laps in here. The game is a bit low, 10-4.
Turn my volume down a little bit, try to rebalance it a bit too.
All right. So Dylan currently sitting in pole position with a 2-minute flat .141. So we know that the GT3 cars in an alien's hands can do about 213s, 212s, or in around there on the soft tires when they really get it right. So we're looking at about 15 seconds in between the LMPH cars and the GT3 cars. So we'll probably see these 2 classes beat up 3-4 times throughout this 1-hour race, I suspect. And we do have Dylan on a purple lap here as he comes around as well. And then we have J-Set just tucked in behind. So we're going to stick with these 2s. They'll be the first 2 to come back across the line here. Now again, this is designed for 3 nights of racing for those of you that might be interested in or start thinking about it. And like I said, if you don't have a teammate, it's not the end of the world. We'll randomly pair you up with another driver from another class as we start to fill spots. We have 1 team opening left on Mondays, and we've got Tuesdays and Thursdays still very wide open. And drivers that could run those days as well if we started to fill up those grids. So we'll be taking registrations all season long, right up until end of round 7, like we do every season. And if you want to come have some fun and test your mettle against the league racers here at GT45 Gaming, come check it out. Have some fun. Nothing beats a hard Monday than a good racing broadcast, right? I mean, really? So Dylan with a sub 2 minute there at 159.779. JP's at a 2 minute .454. Jay sets at a 201.615. We got Jolly here with a 202.535. Got TDC with a 203.482. And we got Egon with a 204.923 here so far. So there's a couple of quirks to this Toyota GR010. And short shifting it in a couple of gears is really key with this car. It has 7 gears, this car, and from 6th gear to 7th gear, it is a really short shift. If you really want to maximize this car, for the drivers that are unaware of that, will probably struggle with this car a little bit until they figure that out or until that information is passed along. So when they watch the stream back later, maybe they catch this part of the tidbit and go, oh, really? I didn't know that. You're basically barely letting the RPMs register from 6th to 7th, and you're already popping up in the 7th place, and the car just screams in a straight line. It's insane. But again, that's that hybrid boost system in this LMPH car that essentially does that, and it also helps recharge the battery a little bit in the process at that high speed as well with this car. So the battery will last for quite a while here at the race. We'll probably see the battery go for half to 3/4 of the race before these LMPH cars really start running out of that boost assist, and then it's going to be game on. The drivers that have boost assist will start to lock in on the drivers that have ran out of their boost system. So Dylan comes back through, improving again. Jay just misses an improvement there. Let's see if JP finds an improvement as he comes around here, and we've got enough time for one more. We're going to let them finish this lap, and then we'll send the GT3 cars out. Dylan seems quite satisfied with his lap there. TDC with a 202.969 and moving himself just up ahead of Egon there, who just put down a 203.1 himself. So it does in this car. It is definitely one of the most updated versions of an LMP car we have in Gran Turismo 7 right now, and that's why we chose to go with this car. Again, we're trying to keep this as real world as possible. We also decided to only allow basically GT3 cars that we've actually seen, you know, on the racetrack and in the endurance championships around the world over the last few years as well. So we've tried to keep it as real as we could this one. Energy management could come into play. Of course, we're on 4 times tire and 3 times fuel consumption for our racers here this season as well. So tires are going to be aggressive for the drivers for the season, and fuel's not too bad. Strategy is just really going to be interesting here. Of course, like I said, with it being basically a point per lap for these drivers now, so the first place doesn't get 25 points plus bonus points, right, for fastest lap or pole position. First place, if they finish 35 laps tonight, will get 35 points. If second place finishes with 35 laps, they will also get 35 points. So this is really going to change the way that these championships, I think, stack up and also come down to the final 2 or 3 weeks of the season. I think that's going to be a lot of really close, tight points racing. Oh,
You gotta send the GT3s out. good thing to get the extra timer at the end of the day here, because I sent him out late. There we go. I think Egon got off track here now. No, he's still on track. Egon, get off track.
All right. So we got a Toyota Supra here from Ride the Lightspeed, who is paired up with Dylan, who's our current pole sitter overall here and for the LMPH. So we'll see what Ride the Light has in store for the GR3 class. We've got Medic back this season. He's in that Ferrari 458 Italia part. No, 488? 488, I think. I can't remember. I don't drive it often, so coming around here as well. So he's back this season. We've got TT Sheriff Doofy out in the Lexus Group 3 car here, out on track this season. We've got Ishmael out, and he has opted to go with, I can't tell from that angle, the BMW. Interesting. And then we've got Miss Devious. Apparently my keyboard doesn't want to go to 11th place. In the Lexus here as well. So looks like drivers giving themselves lots of space. So we're going to sit with Ride Lightspeed here, as he's currently the first GT3 car out on track. And he didn't miss the window, man. He's seen that timer go, and he was on it. A very nice car. I like the very simple design on the car here as well. We had Dylan and Ride the Lightspeed back in last year's championship as well, the prototype challenge. So it's nice to see them coming back here as well this season. We do have something else working in behind the scenes for every other weekend. As well, so as that kind of develops more, I'll keep you posted on that. And then we have a summer championship with some prizes on the line coming after this one as well, so we got lots of racing planned this season for sure. And this one was just kind of to get the ball rolling again here this season. This one took a lot of work logistically to figure out, but we're rolling with it now, so now we kind of get to see all that brain work finally put to track and see how it goes here today. We've seen this done from other organizations in the past as well. It does have its complications with the closing speeds, especially between the two classes of cars. They are so significantly different as far as overall speed goes and the way that they handle everything. So this is going to be an interesting challenge. We do have some of our racers in VR. JP's in VR, Miss Devious is in VR, Egon's in VR, I know for sure. So we do have 3 VR drivers here in the lobby as well, which should also make things a little extra interesting. Visually in the LMP cars, it's very difficult too as well. So, and he's going to come through with a 2:16.8 there, but he did have a penalty as he came through there. So, so it says on the live timing anyway. So we're going to stick with Medic here. Ride Lightspeed, he was out on that 10-minute mark, man. He didn't mess around. He was a part of that Race Asylum Multiclass Championship that we took part in a few months ago as well, so he knows exactly how this qualifying format works, so he was right on top of it. That's good, because I wasn't. We haven't done this in a while. Ishmael with a 2:16.5. Oh, we got a stricken car there. It looks like Sheriff got it a little bit wrong coming out of the final S there. Medic with not a great lap there, unfortunately, for Medic. Sheriff is still trying to get that car turned around here, and there we go. A little goosey, a little slippery for him. Oh, hey, it went this time. And Miss Devious comes through with a penalty as well. So, ooh, the Lexuses are struggling a little bit here on track early on. So we do have Ishmael currently sitting in pole position for our Group 3 class. That could definitely change, though, but it's a 2:16.593. Miss Devious is there with a 216.8. We've got Ride to Lightspeed next with a 216.813, so a little over 1/100th of a second in behind Miss Devious currently right now on track. Medic is not had a proper flying lap put in yet, and neither has Sheriff.
Well, let me do that. You're gonna have to unplug the keyboard.
Oh, 100%. I agree. I mean, nonetheless, it's all for fun at the end of the day anyways, and I mean, races are always looking for something different and a challenge. This is most certainly a challenge and definitely different. Ooh-wee! Sheriff is having a little bit of a struggle here today with this car. That's all right. He's just got to get those tires cleaned up. He's still got time. Ride the Lightspeed coming through and drops a 216.511 to take that pole position away from Ishmael here. So let's see if Ishmael responds as he's coming around in through Below Chamal right now. And that's going to lead him right up into the that's the wrong track, into the final chicane here. And this BMW can be a ripper if you know how to drive it. So let's see what he's got here. Oh, it's a 215.949, but it was not good enough to take that position away. Oh, it was good enough. It was 215.949. What did Lightspeed have?
I'm so confused. That's nothing new. 216.5. Right. All right. Miss Devious there, 216.8. She's just coming around the final chicane now.
Medic come through with a 227.3, so an improvement there for Medic. Miss Devious also, no, not with an improvement there. 219 from Miss Devious, and Sheriff is coming through there. With a 227.8, so him and Medic both have not had a proper flying lap yet. They've had some kind of complication on their qualifying laps here so far, and you know, that happens. I'm one of those qualifiers that typically struggles in qualifying, but still races very well, so you can't really judge what's going to happen in a race necessarily by qualifying, especially an hour-long race that is with random weather, and it's completely unpredictable. You could be in the middle of your stint in the middle of the racetrack, and all of a sudden you just get pelted with rain. So
He is dialed, right?
I mean, he was quick last championship we've seen him in, so I mean, he's just continues to improve, which is fantastic.
Where is he? Ninth.
I don't think we're going to be seeing an improvement there. That looked like a mistake on his part there. Alright, so Ishmael will be the next one to come around. Lightspeed will come around first, but we just seen that he had a moment coming through. I believe it was
My brain's not working today.
Alright, so 216.3, so he's pretty consistent. Miss Devious here now is in 8th place with a 216.396. So she did improve last time around. Live timing was just lying to me. Go figure. Let's see if she finds an improvement here this time around. And ooh, is she gonna just get there? Ooh, she's just gonna squeeze that final lap through. Wow, that was close. Alright, we got Medic coming through. Medic goes 228. We got a Sheriff next. Sheriff just jump up into P10 there, 217.2. So he hooked himself up a lap there right in the end. So we got Ishmael, Ride the Lightspeed, and Miss Devious, I believe, still out on a flyer here. No, Miss Devious did get the checkered there. So we'll stick with Ride the Light because he'll come through first, and then we'll jump over to Ishmael, and then that will be the end of our qualifying run. So in a situation where, say, a LMPH car doesn't get a proper lap in and they qualify in behind a GT3 class, for example, it didn't happen here tonight, but it could happen. They'll be put at the back of their class for the starting grid, so we'll manually set the grid, make sure they put it at the back of the class. We don't want one of the LMPH cars starting in behind the GT3 cars, just knowing how much faster they are. That is just going to cause a massive complication at the beginning of the race. So if a driver is to bottle their qualifying, as we like to call it, they'll be put at the back of their class. Woohoo! Squirrely exit there for Red Lightspeed, but boy, he looks good out there. So not an improvement there for him, unfortunately, but just a half-second penalty killed him right at the end there. Let's see if Ishmael has an improvement in him here. 2:15.9 is a very fast time. This is an A+ driver here, so not surprised. Oh, 2:15.7. All right, so there it is. 2:15.75, 8-4 pole for Ishmael here, and that will be the end of our qualifying run. So we are going to unplug our keyboard in between qualifying and race time here and replug it in, and hopefully it works properly. Haven't had to do that in a hot minute. So great job. Congratulations to Dylan and Ishmael for the first pole positions here this season, and bonus 1 point for them. So they start our first round of racing with a championship points lead. It's a 3-minute continuation clock just because the track is a little over a 2-minute lap, so just bear with it. It'll take a hot minute here. All right, we got to do some screenshotting. There we go. All right, 5 minutes. I gotta unplug my keyboard, chat. Just give me 1 second. All right, there we go. Hopefully that fixed it. So how everybody's doing today? It is glad to be nice and live again. And with that being said, hopefully we can get live every night this week now that we know that the stream is working, as we knock on wood. Yeah. We've been struggling to get the stream working lately. We had a crash on us for a huge broadcast for a 12-hour Bathurst race just a few weekends ago, 2 weekends ago, 3 weekends ago, and I haven't been able to get it to work until about 2 nights ago. So fate. It was just meant to be. Alright, so racing medium tires are the required tire here today. The diet, of course, when the drivers decide to use that medium tire is entirely up to them. In the event of rain throughout our 1 hour event today, if that rain at any point hits 33% moisture on the racetrack, that will void the tire mandate. Again, for blue flag situations, it is up to the lead lap car, whether it be a class pass or it be a LMPH passing a Group 3 car. The blue flag car is to just hold its line, and that's it. It is up to the LMPH car, the faster driver, to find their way around that lap car.
Oh, man, did I get the weather wrong? I might have got the weather wrong. No, it should be custom. What? I gotta check. When I set the lobby up, it was not like that.
Alright, I gotta change the weather because for some reason it's not on random weather. So, we gotta change it.
But that's alright, we have a solution to this. I don't know why it changed it. It shouldn't have changed it. I reset the lobby, but it shouldn't have changed the weather. Oh, I gotta do this. Now you'll get rain. It was set. I know it was set. I don't know what happened. It must have reset when I reset the lobby. It must have reset when I reset the lobby. He's fired. Fire this guy. Alright. Then it was Ish, Mischievous, Ride the Lights. Boom. Alright.
All the behind the scenes stuff, you gotta love it.
The weather still looks nice, so I mean.
Alright, we're 1 minute behind. We're not doing bad here. We're not doing bad. Alright, so the first race of the season is always interesting. It's a little tense. Everybody's probably a little bit on edge. Alright, let's go racing. It is about time. Let's go racing! Alright.
wish it would just save these settings so we didn't have to do this every single time. Alright.
Keyboard's working. Fantastic. Alright, it is a grid start with a false start check, so this could be a little bit tricky for these drivers. Obviously, we got Ishmael right lined up beside one of the LMPH drivers here as well. So here we go, and we got a false start.
Oh, and we're going to have to call a red here. Yeah.
Car stuck on the grid. Gotta love it.
Alright, let's try it again.
Had two cars with very heavy damage there. We're calling a red there. We need a cleaner start than that. I mean, that was just a car stuck. Hey, what's up, Alpha?
Alright, I just gotta make sure the lineup is still correct. Give it another minute for last second. Oh yeah, tires. Alright. Good luck again, hopefully. We get a good start off this time.
So we had one of the LMPH cars either jump a little bit and just get the penalty for jumping the start, or it was completely stuck there. I'm not really sure which one it was, but nonetheless, we're all about fair play here, so we have red flag procedures in place for that situation and many other situations throughout the race here today, so we'll be keeping our eye on it. Hopefully everything goes well this time. The game's been a little bit quirky lately too, so lobbies have been causing some issues as of late. I don't know why, but hopefully we get off a little better this time. All right, 5 reds, kick them tires, light them fires. We're going multi-class racing, folks, and we got a much cleaner start this time. You can see Medic just stayed back that time, making sure everybody got off. All right, so here we go. We're going to stay with the lead pack here, and as we head up Eau Rouge, and as they come out straight for the first time here, and we did start on a 24-hour layout, so we didn't have to deal with obviously turn 1 right off the bat. That was a safety call. It's kind of a 50-50 on that in a sense, but it gives these drivers just an opportunity to straight line themselves out right away. And it looks like Cobra there having a little bit of an issue early on there, just missing his turn a little bit, but he doesn't get into trouble there, and he keeps it out of the pack. We've got a little bit of front aero damage here on TDC as well. We've got Ishmael here in 7th position. We've got Misdevious here in 8th place. We've got Ryder Lightspeed in 9th. We've got Sheriff here in 10th. And we've got Medic in 11th place. So let's get back up to the field. Our pole sitter had a little battle there with JP very early on, but did manage to win out on that battle. So he will retain first place here for the time being as we get underway. This is 60 minutes. The amount of pit stops we're going to see here today is completely unknown. Your guess is as good as mine.
Living the all-American dream as usual.
Hey, aren't we all? Alright, so we've got Egon here in 4th place, we got Jolly Rancher in 5th, and we got TDC in 6th. Let's get to our GT3 class here. We have our pole sitter Ishmael still in the lead, with Misdevious still tucked in behind him. Ryder Lightspeed still right there in behind her in 9th place. Just in behind is Sheriff, and just a little bit off in the back there is Medic here as well. So in that Ferrari, that is an interesting choice here this season. We got a battle here. It looked like for P2 temporarily. Jay took a look there on Ishmael, was unable to get it done. We got Jolly going in on the inside of Egon there. Ooh, we got to go check that back out. But we definitely had a positional battle happen there, and we are going to go take another look at that. Bringing on Gran Turismo. Let's go see what happened here. We've got Egon down. He was semi-defending. He decided to take the racing line there, and I think Jolly Rancher just got a little bit of overspeed there and just actually kind of tapped him slightly. You can see he backed off there as well. So it was not a pass made there. I think that was just oopsies in slipstream, but Dylan 2 seconds up the road very quickly. He was very efficient in these prototype cars in the prototype championship, but he also is seeing JP and JSET battling with each other a little bit here too, and that is definitely slowing them down and allowing him to continue to move up the road. As JSET got quite loose there trying to get back on the throttle there, as him and JP were kind of sorting themselves out there in that battle. JP made a little mistake. Maybe Jay thought that was his fault. They were kind of deciding which one was going to take second and third place there. That had to cost them a couple of seconds, but they did allow the LMPH pack to close back up. So we got Jolly Rancher here in fourth, we got Egon in fifth, and TDC is all over the rear bumper of Egon here right now in fifth place as well. So let's see if we got a battle here, and then we'll go check out our GT3 cars here in just a moment's time, because they're all very close together here as well still. So already you can see there is about a 15-second spread on the field here between the two classes of cars. So we should see the LMPHs probably close in on these GT3s in about 10 laps, if I had to guess right now. So it is Ishmael in the lead here. He's got 0.3 seconds on 10 tenths Misdevious, and Ride the Lightspeed is right hot on their heels as well. So we got a 3-car train here for the podium right now in our GR3 class as well. So they are moving and grooving right now, let me tell you what. But a half-second penalty there for Ride Lightspeed, and that is going to take him out of that slip, and that is really not ideal, especially where the serving zone is. It's right at the end of the Paul Frere curve here, and right where you need all that momentum, and boom, momentum loss. So he's going to lose about a second to the two drivers up in front right now. Not ideal. We've got Medic here about 14 seconds in behind, and it looks like Sheriff has had a slight incident on the track here in 11th position, and now just trying to track back in. So Alexis, she's a spicy one. Alright, so Dylan is in the lead here. He is 4.6 seconds up the road here now. So a little bit of battling between Jay and JP really did cost him a couple extra seconds to the race leader here. So now they're going to have to try and close him in. Qualifying, they were only split by about a half second between the three drivers, so it's not impossible, but that gap continues to grow here, so we'll have to wait and see. We got Jolly Rancher here in fourth place. He's 2.4 seconds in behind JP right now, and he's got TDC Gaming 2.3 seconds in behind himself as well, and then Egon right there 2.4 seconds in behind him. So we've got the LMPH cars fairly close together, but boy, this GT3 battle here right now got a little bit of teamwork coming here between Ishmael and Misdevious here right now. Misdevious deciding that the best option right now is to work with Ishmael potentially and try to lose that GT3 pack perhaps. Not a bad strategy. Remember, these GT3 cars got to deal with these LMPH cars at some point in the race, where these LMPH cars are going to catch up and have to navigate around the GT3 cars, and that is going to stifle battles for the time being potentially, or create battles as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. So 1.8 seconds in behind is Ride Lightspeed. We've got Medic here a little bit in behind here at 18 seconds right now, and we've got Sheriff here at 3.2 seconds in behind him, and just trying to close in the gap here a little bit. So a little bit of a mistake made there by Sheriff and potentially Medic as well here at some point in the race, and they've gone just a little bit off, but long race, lap 4 in a 1 hour race for 6 minutes in. And as we head through the source, our race leader 6 seconds up the road here from JP. JP has, taken second place. So there was something happened here with JSET into the latter part of the lap there, and he's found himself all the way back into P6. So Jolly Rancher now up into third place. We've got TDC up into fourth place. We've got Egon here in fifth place. We got Jay 4.7 seconds in behind Egon. So definitely something happening to our second place driver there, and falling to the back in the LMPH class. But it wasn't a big enough mistake to fall in to the clutches of our GT3 cars here. So a small mistake, but big enough mistake to cost him 5 positions or 4 positions on the racetrack. So Ishmael Misdevious here, still only separated by a couple of car lengths here right now as they come around the racetrack. Fastest lap on track is going to be Dylan in the LMPH cars currently with a tool of 1.998. We'll have to go to the live timing for our GT3 car fastest laps at the end of the race to figure out who our fastest GT3 lap car was, but thankfully Gran Turismo gives us that information at least at the end of the races. So it is Misdevious just 2 tenths in behind Ishmael, but Ride the Light, he is closing back up. It was about 1.8 seconds last time around. He's now got it into 1.6 range. So as these two continue to try and break free from the pack, that Supra is starting to show its prowess here around Spa and starting to close that gap back up. We have Sheriff just making his way around Medic here. Let's see if we can catch that pass. We just missed it. It happened probably in the chicane, coming up into the start-finish line. If I had to guess there. So we got Medic here. He's 2 seconds in behind right now. Alright, so it is Dylan here. Dylan is 6.6 seconds up to closing that gap. Isn't growing quite as quickly now to JP and, well, JP, I guess it was JSET, than it was at the beginning of the race now that they're not battling it in clean air and kind of running their laps here. Jolly Rancher here is in 3rd place here. We have TDC Gaming in 4th place. We have Egon here in 5th place as well. We've got JSET in 6th place. Now, one thing I didn't mention about the points is there is additional points for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place in each class as well. So there's 3 extra points available for 1st, there's 2 bonus points available for 2nd place finish, and there's 1 bonus point available for a 3rd place finish as well. So it's an interesting point scale this season. So it's not necessarily winning a race necessarily isn't the biggest key in this point system. It is maintaining the lap with whoever the race leader is. And if you can stay on the same lap as that race car, then you've essentially not really lost any points on that driver or that team, except for, say, the bonus points that might separate the drivers. So I'm really interested to see how this point system is really going to shake out at the end of the season here, because our theories, anyways, with this new point system, sure lean on really tight championships come near the end of the seasons, I think. So, and this point system works for team events, solo events, and pretty much any kind of championship event that we can drum up here as well. So Sheriff is about 25 seconds in behind the race leaders here currently right now for the GT3 class, and Medic is just a little bit in behind him. So very quickly the field has spread out here. I'm looking at the tire situation. We are, what, about 10 minutes in? And I mean, those tires already on most of these cars are definitely starting to show some age. Oh, there we go. We got battle happening here between JSET and Egon here as well. So both 10 Tenths drivers, but in these championships, sometimes you see them work together, sometimes you see them battle each other. It all depends on the situation here. So this is a watch and see kind of situation where Jay looks like he's going to move up the inside of Egon here. He's going to make the pass on Egon, and a very nice tidy pass right there by the two drivers is heading into the final chicane, and JSET's going to move himself back up into 5th place there around Egon. So nice execution there by the two drivers and a great battle right there, and not even a paint swap. That is how you do it, folks. That is how you do it. Alright, let's get back up into this fight here for 2nd and 3rd place right now in the GT3 class. I mean, what an absolute great battle here right now between these three drivers. All three drivers separated by about 1.5 seconds right now currently. Just enough space for them to not be fully affected by dirty air, if I had to guess. But it is Ishmael here currently in the lead for the GT3 class. We have Misdevious in 2nd position, and we have Ride the Lightspeed in 3rd place for the GT3 class here right now. And those LMPH cars, they're starting to close in. They're starting to close in. Those LMPH cars are going to see Sheriff and Medic here within another lap, I think, maybe 2. So a little bit quicker than I suspected. We may see quite a few passes between the two classes of cars here today, and this is fun. This is going to be the fun part. So So as we head into the source here, our race leaders in the GT3 class, the whole podium is all basically nose to tail here as we head down towards Rouge and Laration for the 6th time here for our GT3 cars. Still a 6th time here for our LMPH as well. But it is Dylan. He's 8.2 seconds up the road. He's got JP 5.3 seconds ahead of Jolly Rancher, starting to stretch their legs a little bit here. Jolly Rancher starting to open up a gap to TDC Gaming by 3.3 seconds. TDC has about 8.5 seconds. JSet in behind here in 5th place. JSet is going to be looking to try and get positions back, so we'll be keeping an eye on him. Egon's only 2.7 seconds in behind him, and already these LMPH cars are a full minute ahead of the GT3 field. So where is Dylan and where is Medic? Oh, Dylan was already past Medic.
Okay.
Alright, so we're going to sit with our race leader here because he is closing in on one of the GT3 cars here right now, and I'm very curious to see how the drivers handle these situations as they come up, and it all depends where, of course, they catch up to the GT3 car here as well. But I mean, he is just coming around Brussels here right now and into the 90, the left-hand 90, I believe this one is, and you can see right there that Lexus of Sheriff, and that GT1 car is barreling down on it. So here we go. Our first look at a LMPH on GT3 pass here today, and we're in a good ideal zone for that pass. He caught him in the right spot there. You see the Lexus just move right on up, and no problems there for Dylan as he navigates around Sheriff there. So love to see that. We love to see that. That's what we're talking about. It is going to be tricky depending on where these LMPH drivers catch up to these GT3 guys. We got a half-second penalty here on Cobra, and he has opened up a bigger gap on TDC Gaming, so I'm assuming there might have been a little mistake maybe potentially made here by TDC at some point, and that's allowed JSet to close into 5.5 seconds now. So a little mistake made there by Jay, lost a little bit of time, but overall he gained 3 seconds here on this lap due to that little mistake made by TDC Gaming. And then we've got Egon here in 6th position as well, 5.6 seconds back. He's just made his way around Medic there as well. So let's go ahead into our GT3 class here now, because this is kind of going to be crucial once the LMPH cars catch up to our race leaders here in GT3. What is that going to do to this battle? Devious has lost a position to Ride the Lightspeed. Ride the Lightspeed's now moving up into 2nd place here in the GT3 class, and Devious is tucked right in underneath his wing. So interesting. That Supra is starting to stretch its legs a little bit. It's very strong at Spa here. It's a very strong car, and the Ride the Lightspeed clearly knows how to drive it. But boy, that was a tense moment right there as Miss Devious is able to close back right on the rear bumper of that Toyota Supra. Got it just a little bit wrong there. Got it broke free just slightly under acceleration. Oh, and he's going to pay the price with a half-second penalty there. So all that work for the last penalty that he made to catch up and finally get a pass done, he's going to give it right back here again, potentially at the penalty serving zone at the end of Paul Frere curve here on this lap. But I mean, that's all about racing. These track officials here at Spa, they are ruthless, and we're side by side there. Miss Devious gets to run through Poulan, and great side by side action here for 2nd place in the GT3 class on our Monday night lobby. And this is still a side by side battle as we head through campus. And oh, hold on to it, hold on to it. Ooh, nice save there by Ride the Light. Just got a little bit loose there, and off into the dirt. So Miss Devious just fights him off there, and that was a great battle there between 2nd and 3rd place in the GT3 class. So we got Sheriff about 28 seconds in behind Lightspeed right now, and we got Medic here about 30 seconds in behind him. So maybe a pit stop has been made there, I'm not sure, but we've got Dylan just navigating around his teammate there right now actually. So he has just caught up to that Toyota Supra, which means that our 1st and 2nd place GT3 cars are just up ahead here. And we're going to stick again with our race leader here, our 119 LMPH car, as he comes around the S's, and on lap number 9, he is going to catch those GT3 leaders. So about lap 8. Woohoo! Big slide there from Dylan. It just slams down on power coming around Source there, and he is going to want to try and get around this GT3 before he gets up into Ration, and he does. Great job by the two drivers right there. Both of them make it up through uncompromised as well, and now he's going to close in on Ishmael here, the race leader, coming right into, I cannot remember what this set of corners is right now. I don't know why. Has eluded me today. And race leader, no complications getting through the GT3 cars here. So now we've got JP coming up on third place of our GT3 cars here as well. He's got 6.9 seconds over Jolly Rancher in third place here currently. And JP is just coming up on that Toyota Supra of riding light speed here right now. So his partner Ishmael currently in the race lead in the GT3 class. So looking pretty good here for this team right now in race number 1. Alright, so TDC Gaming 4.6 seconds in behind Jolly Rancher, starting to close back in. Jay says 4.2 seconds in behind TDC Gaming, which means he's closing in on TDC, which means he's also closing back in on Jolly Rancher, because TDC is closing in on Jolly Rancher as well. And then we've got Egon here. He's about 9 seconds back right now from J-Set, and he's just coming in on Sheriff here right now in that Lexus as well. So back to our GT3 class leader here, LMR's Ishmael, and very efficient race car driver this gentleman is, and he's looking really solid right now in his BMW here, and 219, 218 pace on those really seen medium tires is definitely not a slow pace. And you can see his cohort here, his teammate, just closing in on him into the chicane here, so he'll get around leading into La Source. And I gotta tell you what, these guys are handling this like pros tonight. GG's to the driver so far.
Is this corner and that corner? Right, I know. I need to refresh my track maps. It's been a while.
We got 10 Tenths Mischievous in second place. She's 3.7 seconds in behind Ishmael here now as well. We've got Ride Lightspeed here. He's in 9th place. He's trying to close back in on Mischievous here, 3.5 seconds in behind. But we do have Jolly Rancher now kind of in between 3rd and 2nd place GT3 right now as well. So Jolly Rancher's closing in on his teammate here, Mischievous, as we head up to Chemist Straight. Should be able to get the pass done leading into the S's here. And oof, almost gave her a little push up the racetrack there as he was going around. They almost misjudged the speed coming in on her there, but does a great job and does manage to get around her there. So we've got TDC who just managed his way around Ride the Lightspeed, and that means J-Set is now coming up into that GT3 traffic as well here. So stick on board with J-Set here as he's coming in behind that Toyota Supra right now. He's got 5 seconds to TDC Gaming right now, so TDC is doing a great job at managing that pace with Jay here. And I mean, we have cars being swapped around here. Ishmael somehow lost position back to JP, or he got position back on JP, so that tells me that JP must have made a little mistake somewhere. And we have a big old mixture of GT3 and LMPH cars going on here right now, and it is fantastic. Egon here in the 6th position. We've got Ishmael here in 7th, and you can see TDC is just working his way around Ishmael there right now. Mischievous 3.2 seconds in behind, and I think that Ishmael may have had to let some LMPH traffic through an unideal spot potentially, and that has allowed Mischievous to close up almost a full second on him. So again, the traffic can play a factor into these GT3 car battles. Ride Lightspeed closing in very quickly here too as well. It was almost 3.5 seconds behind our 2nd place Mischievous there. Now he's only 1.6 seconds in behind Mischievous. So closing in quickly is the Supra, and you can see TDC is going to make his way around Mischievous here now. And Mischievous is going to try and grab what she can for slipstream from him to try and hold off the charge of this Toyota Supra here right now. I gotta tell you what, that Supra is absolutely pushing hard right now to close that gap back up. He has got some pace in that car here tonight. We've got Dylan, and Dylan is 13.2 seconds up the road currently here from JP right now in the 2nd place. JP navigated around his partner, and then something happened, and his partner got back around him and had to go back around his partner again, and then Jolly Rancher just catching the car there as the car tried to get a little bit unsettled underneath him, and the tires are starting to wear down pretty good in these cars now. So they're going to get a little spicy, especially under braking and acceleration. So you got to really start to manage your race car at this point. You can still see they got 2/3 of their battery life left for the most part. In this car, some drivers doing much better than that with their battery. Jay has almost a full battery in his car here still. Egon's much of the same thing as well. He does have a full battery in the car. About 9 seconds in behind Jay here currently. And he is going to interrupt this GT3 battle happening here up in front of him. So this GT3 battle is going to be fantastic all race long here, it looks like. I tell you what.
This should be a problem. Me too, Alpha, don't worry.
Ooh, this is a tricky situation here for Egon. Egon does get around light speed, so it allows light speed to settle in behind, but now he has to wait for, of course, Egon to navigate around this devious here, and it's taking a little bit longer than anticipated here, but again, they are to hold their line. It is up to the LMPH car to find their way around, so Egon does find a way around here. He goes up the inside around the Paul Frere curve, and he continues up the racetrack, but what does that do for our GT3 second place battle here? It separates the two drivers by just over a second currently, and now, woo, we got Egon making a move on Ishmael here, which is going to allow second and third place to close in on first place a little bit here as well. So very interesting. This GT3 race is still anybody's game here between these three races right now, without a question of a doubt. All right, let's jump on board with Dylan as we head into pool on here. Just have a little look at what these drivers usually in these LMPH cars kind of got to deal with here. You can see that the arm, the control arm that comes down is massive in this car, so it creates a pretty large blind spot for these racers when they're trying to look around that column. In the VR, I can just imagine how much worse that would be for them, because they physically have to look in order to see if there's a car beside them or not, unlike the driver's not in VR, where they can just hit a button on their controller or steering wheel and look behind them, or in this case, there. But we'll do a racing speed lap here with our race leader if he stays out another lap here. I'm not sure if he's going to continue on or if he's going to be making a pit stop here. Let's see. He is going to continue on. All right. So 13.7 second lead here from Dylan right now, and like I said, in the prototype championship, he was super proficient in these prototype cars. He really likes these prototype cars, so I'm surprised to see him back. He did quite well in them here again this season. We have JP coming around here right now. The pace is very equal to Dylan right now, so I mean, he's not losing any more time to race leader, but unfortunately JP is not able to really pick any back up. I've gotten sore. We just got too much things going on. I don't have a lot of time to properly focus on racing. We got Jolly Rancher here in third place. He's still got a 6.86 second gap, 7-second gap over TDC Gaming in fourth place here right now. And TDC, as he comes around, now Jay is still 5 seconds behind, so we're doing a jump, and we'll Jay set off in fifth place here. Jay, you can just see him heading up through right now as he heads up into a rouge. So definitely in striking distance. Egon here is about 14 seconds behind Jay, so we can't see Jay now. He's kind of in no man's land at the moment here. And then we've got this battle going on right here. This is a doozy. I love this battle. You've got Ishmael here. He has about 2.2 seconds over Miss Devious currently. Ride Lightspeed is the first driver to finally make a pit stop here, so we do have a pit stop coming from Ride Lightspeed. And take a look at him here as he comes into pit lane. We're probably going to see a two-stop race if I had to guess here today. I don't think the drivers can take this to a one-stop. If they can, that will be a pretty good car management in my opinion, but if they can, good on them. But I think we should probably be seeing two stops here. I think we're going to see two mediums and a soft tire run potentially out of these drivers today. based off of what I'm seeing here so far. We got Sheriff. Sheriff is going to come into pit lane here as well. He's going to follow suit. Alright, so Dylan is going to go around again here, and I mean, he definitely has the fuel to try and make a one-stop work here. The question is, does he have the tires? Drivers with very different fuel loads, very different tire degradations right now in these cars. It's very interesting to see the difference between the drivers and the pace, the fuel, and the tires used. If you're paying attention, because we don't have it in this season, you probably learn quite a bit from it. We've got Ishmael here in 7th. He still only got a 2-second gap over Misdevious, who now has a 50-second gap over Ride Lightspeed, who is essentially going for the undercut strategy here right now on Ishmael and Misdevious. So we'll see when it is that they decide to pit next. And then that puts him 55 seconds ahead of Sheriff, who's in pit lane right now, fueling up, and that car's just coming back out. Sometimes that's all it takes, is just to have that 1 or 2 mistakes in a race. It just sits you back sometimes, and these lobbies, they tend to be fairly competitive for the most part, so when these drivers get dialed in, it's so hard to gain on them. And as you can see, I mean, Dylan is dialed in right now, but JP is slowly but surely chipping away, a 10th here, a 10th there at him, but with 28 minutes gone in the race at this point, he needs to be chipping away a little more than a 10th of a second away at him here, but anything can happen. There's still half of a race left here. Weather could factor into this thing yet. It is quite nice on the racetrack here at Spa today, though, so it looks like the drivers are going to get a good run here. And Jay's closing in on TDC here, so Jay's set now only 1.9 seconds in behind TDC, so TDC potentially making a small mistake here on this racing lap, and that has allowed Jay to close a couple more seconds up on him here now, and I mean, he's just about in slipstream range at this point, so it would be interesting to see the feedback from the racers about how the race was here today too as well after the race. Obviously the racers' feedback is quite important to us here at GT45, so we design and build these championships based around the racers' feedback and viewer feedback, and of course admin feedback as well, steward feedback, but you know, the racers' feedback is why we are where we are today, so it's important to listen to your racers. Everything they say doesn't necessarily mean it's right, but it's important to listen to your racers. So we got TDC and Jolly Rancher both coming into pit lane here, so about a minute before the window. Now, again, it's about a minute pit stop that we've seen, so maybe that is strategic timing. That means they're going to have to run about 30.5 minutes on, or longer, on the next set of tires if the one-stop is the strategy that they're looking for. And from what I can tell, a one-stop strategy is what we're looking for, but I also see getting a little gloomy in a certain part of the racetrack here. The clouds are getting a little gray, so hopefully the drivers are paying attention to that radar, because anything can happen at any time here at Spa. It happens quick when it happens. So we got Ishmael here in 7th. He hasn't pitched yet, so he is about to lap the 5th place car here right now, but he does need to make that pit stop, so that's exactly what he's going to do here right now. I'm assuming Misdevious is going to follow suit. She has got just a sliver of rubber left on that racing car. And then we got Ride Lightspeed. He's going in for a good undercut here, so let's sit with Ride Lightspeed here for a minute as he comes around and see where he comes out in comparison to Ishmael and Misdevious here now, because he's been on fresh tires for the last lap and a half, where they've been on very old, wore-out medium tires. You would think that these new racing tires are going to be much more quick around the racetrack than his older racing tires. So if that was the case, he was only about a second or two in behind those guys. Pardon me. He may come right back out in this fight directly ahead of it or just behind it. So we're about to find out here. Pit exit is at the top of Laurentian here as well, so as Ride to Lightspeed comes around the source. He's still got the whole straightaway to go and a Rouge Laurentillon before he sees pit exit. It looks like Ishmael is on his way out here, and so is Miss Devious. And there is that Supra. The Supra is going to jump Miss Devious here, so Ride to Lightspeed undercut achieved. Moves himself back up into second position here and finds himself only a striking distance away from the race leader, the class leader here. So Ride to Lightspeed has worked some pit strategy beautifully here, but he came in quite early. Can he manage the car to the end?
That's the bigger question now.
All right, Sheriff here in 10th position. We got Medic here. Everybody has officially pits.
Egon's just making his pit stop now.
All right, so it does appear that we are going to see some one-stop strategies here today. I wasn't expecting to see one stops here today. I was expecting to potentially see two stops, but these drivers always find a way. They always find a way. We're going to have to amp those settings up next season. All right, so Dylan, an 18-second lead over JP here right now. Essentially, really, it's his race to give away at this point. Halfway through, JP has an 11-second gap over Jolly Rancher currently, who has 8.4 seconds in the good to TDC Gaming. TDC Gaming has Jay about 3.6 seconds in behind, so a little bit of game time in pit lane there for TDC Gaming, and Egon's is about the same behind Jay's set right now, so that was pretty even. But the big change here is Ride to Lightspeed jumping Miss Devious in the GT3 class, moving up into second place and literally parking himself right on the rear bumper of the race leader after that sequence of pit stops here. So great undercut from Ride to Lightspeed here, and his teammate in the LMPH car is just closing in on them here as we speak. So Miss Devious there is about 4 or 5 seconds in behind, it looks like. 10 seconds. All right, so we are going to have an LMPH car close in on these two at some point here in this lap, potentially at the beginning of next lap. And these two are in a very active battle. We've seen this once already tonight with the second and third place battling and the LMPH cars closing in. And then, of course, they had to put that battle on hold for a moment to get that LMPH car through. But we're going to see much of the same thing here again. So. Dylan has a comfortable lead here, so I mean he doesn't need to be in a huge hurry to navigate around these guys. He has time to do exactly what he's doing right now, just sitting behind him through this technical sector and then use the power of the LMPH car in a straight line to get around them. So he'll get around both these guys heading into Bouillon here, and away he goes. It is almost a no lift through Bouillon with these Group 1 cars, almost. So, I mean, we've seen Dylan take a really short line there, eat a little bit of curb just to make sure that there was enough room for the GT3 cars to make the corner as well. That car can do it. It has such huge downforce that it just sticks to the road so well. So, I mean, a driver is very aware of what the car's capabilities are as well, and didn't even interfere with this battle for first and second place here in the GT3 class, hardly at all. So, that was a great job there by our overall race leader. Miss Devious here is 11 seconds in behind, and potentially maybe a mistake on those cold racing tires when she came out. We got Sheriff here in 10th place. Car is a little bit scratched up, but he's still moving and grooving, and that's all that matters. So right now, the drivers are sitting really good in points because we only have 1 of 3 lobbies holding this currently right now, right? So until we fill those other 2 lobbies, these drivers are at a massive advantage for getting points right now. So you don't want to wait too long. If you're thinking about joining in but you don't have a teammate is not required here. We will make teams to put drivers together to make up that team. The important thing here is just to get out on track, have fun, and come test your mettle in an organized racing event. You really want to test your skills. This is definitely one of those championships that will do it. We have very high quality drivers here, and they'll test your skills, they'll test your limits, they'll push you all the way through. Alright, so Jay is 3.3 seconds in behind TDC. Jolly Rancher is 3.7 seconds in behind Jay and TDC Gaming. So something has happened to our third place LMPH driver, and he has dropped down into 5th place. So TDC now moves up into that final podium position, and Jay set now 3.4 seconds from that final podium position. And he was in 2nd place at one point in the race, had something happen that we didn't catch, and dropped back to about 20 seconds from the race later, so he's been kind of playing catch up ever since here. And we've got this battle for the GT3 race lead here still going on, and of course our LMPH cars are starting to close in on these guys, so they're having to navigate their own battle plus the LMPH traffic as well. So and again, you know, very good understanding from the drivers on the rule set for the season. The lapping car needs to find a safe way around the lapped car. The lapped car is to maintain their line, and that's what we're seeing here tonight, and that's why we're seeing this work very well, because they're following the procedures. Alright, so Mischievous here in 3rd place in the GT3 class. We got Sheriff here in 4th place in the GT3 class, pardon me. And we've got Medic here in 5th place in the GT3 class as well. And he just got, I believe that's Dylan. Yep, Dylan there making his way around. So LMPH are on lap 18, GT3s are on 16. So 20 laps difference here. So we should see this happen a couple more times. Yeah, I was right. I figured about 3 or 4 times in this race tonight we'd see the LMPH pass the GT3 cars. Now, we have a very interesting mid-season event coming this season for this series. We've brought out a different style of race for round number 5 with both classes of cars on track, and it's a double points round. So massive points on line in round 5, but we're doing it a little different. We're doing it a little different. So you want to put round 5 on your schedule. You're not going to want to miss round 5. I promise you that. And some of these drivers are probably super excited for it, and some of these drivers are probably super scared for it, because we're taking our street circuit drivers off the street circuits and putting them in a different style of racing situation in their cars still. So it's going to be very fun. And there's going to be some moments in that race for sure, I think. And we're actually going to be running a live virtual safety car for that race as well in round 5. So we really tried to change things up this season a little bit with this championship. We really tried to shake it up a little bit. Maybe we shook it up too much, but drivers look fantastic out there tonight. I'll tell you what. They look fantastic. Alright, so Ishmael here in the GT3s in 7th place. We've got Ride the Light in 8th place, 2nd place in the GT3 class here. I mean, he's using pit strategy here very flawlessly, but he just can't quite find his way around Ishmael here, and that's not an easy task either, as we have J-Set closing in on this battle for 1st place in the GT3 class here as well. He's in a different class of cars, so he's just got to find his spot. Actually, that's TDC Gaming, pardon me, sitting in behind Ride Lightspeed, with J-Set closing in behind these guys as well. So every time Ride Lightspeed finally gets that momentum, he finally closes up on that race leader, he's got to give some space up to these LMPH cars. And oh boy, Jay's in a tight spot there, and somehow, some way manages to find his way around that car without wrecking himself or getting into contact with that Toyota Supra as well. So that was a tense moment right there. Let's go take a look at that again. That was great. Woo. Oh, that was some great recognition right there by the LMPH. He just had so much speed coming around Puhan there. It kind of was what it was right there. And again, where you catch these GT3 cars on this in the racetrack sometimes can make it really dicey to get around, and that's exactly what that was for Jay. That was a Code Brown moment, as we like to call it, I think, right there. And if he was not fully paying attention at that point in the race, he is fully wide awake now, I assure you of that. Alright, so 5.2 second lead here now to JP, which is interesting. That tells me something happened. Dylan made a mistake, had a spin. I got hung up in traffic. I'm not sure what it was because we missed it, but JP's in striking distance here now, 5.3 seconds. He's got Sheriff, he's just getting around there right now. TDC is 22 seconds back, so I think potentially that position is out of the question, but I gotta tell you, the sky is looking gloomy above these racers right now. Are we going to see a change in our weather here today? That'll shake this race up. The next thing I'm going to be looking for, I think, here is motion of windshield wipers, because it's definitely gotten hazy on the racetrack at bare minimum. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to rain, but as a racer, when I'm looking out the windshield of my race car and I'm seeing that the weather has changed from very nice sunny conditions to very overcast conditions, I am on my radio talking to my team in the paddock going, weather check please. Because you can definitely see that the mood of the racetrack has changed, so to speak, and it's gotten very dark, which is good. I mean, it's going to cool the track down. Cooling the track down is going to be good for tire life for the racers. Potentially maybe give them a little more grip under dying tires, degrading tires. So that could be a good thing for them, but how much cooler is the racetrack getting? A drastic temperature change could really change up the way the car drives around the racetrack, the way the car feels. We can change a lot of things here, but we've got a potential battle here for third place between Jay and TDC right now, as Jay is closing in. And I mean, 5 seconds is now the gap between JP and Dylan here, so what looked to be an easy round one win here for Dylan has become not so easy here. All of a sudden, JP is tracking. TDC here, he is fighting for his third place life right now with J-Set tracking in behind him here. Oh, he's going to shoot wide and poo on there. That might cost him a penalty. He looks like he got lucky there, as he got quite wide there. And is he going to have dirty tires is the next question now as we head in through, I believe this is campus. And then stave lot, and then a Paul Frere curve. I think it's stuff low, but you know, I'm Canadian, mispronounce stuff all the time probably. So here we go, we're gonna stick on this here, but boy, Sheriff coming right into the mix in this fight here too. And this could potentially be the saving grace for TDC here, as both these drivers are now gonna have to navigate traffic. And which way are we gonna go? We're gonna go 3 deep here. No, TDC is just going to settle in behind J-Set there. He is going to get the pass done. J-Set is going to move up into third place, but he is going to blow the corner, and the game's going to reset him, so he is going to have to re-engage that battle for third place here again. And now that gap is back down to 3.3 seconds. Let's go see what happened there. Just under braking, and he just didn't catch there at all. It looked like his the brakes didn't catch, or he locked him up potentially, but definitely blew through the corner there. So TDC back up into third place for the LMPH, but it is Dylan, only 3.5 seconds here now from JP. JP is hunting, and his target is first place. So we're keeping our eye on that. TDC for a half-second penalty here. That's good for Jay. Help him close up that gap a little bit that he just gave back there. Jolly Rancher's about 18 seconds in behind. We have Egon 20 seconds behind them, and then of course they're a couple laps ahead of the GT3 cars at this point. Ishmael is 4.9 seconds ahead of Ride the Light Speed here in this Toyota Supra this season. He's got 12 seconds over 10 tenths Miss Devious. She has about a minute and a half over Sheriff Doofy, and Sheriff has about a minute over Medic here in the Ferrari, who is making a pit stop. Pit stop. Alright, so we will probably have an open lobby at some point this week, and we may run this in the open lobby, some LMP1s, just to try and stir up the community interest a little bit more. And then we might run a Group 3 one later in the week as well. So back to some regular content here for everybody as well. GT45 Gaming, now that we got things working again. I'll rewatch the stream back tonight myself just to check for audio cues and certain things and make sure I'm not missing anything in the setup, or we'll make the adjustments for next week. So I think we're going to have the first 5 rounds all back in week by week, and then the season is cut by Easter break right at the midway point. So we did push the season back 2 weeks just to try and get some more numbers into the season, but again, we'll be able to advertise properly without the live stream work in the last 2 weeks. It's made it very difficult to get the reach out there to the drivers to know that we have a championship going. So registration is still open. That link is posted in the YouTube comments. It'll be posted in the comments if you're watching this as a pre-recorded video later. If you're interested and you don't have a teammate, that is fine. Jump in anyways as an individual driver. Maximum of 21 LMPH cars and a maximum of 21 GT3 cars are allowed in this year's championship. And it's not too late to get in. We still have a run. So the team thing, we can pair you up with another driver from the other class to make the team aspect. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we're just out here to have fun this season and just kind of get GT45 Gaming back into the championship formation, rotation. So Jay here has made his way around TDC here, but you can see now the windshield wipers are going on J-Set's car there. So we don't see the wipers going on Dylan's car here, but the rain is coming down with 12 minutes left of this race. Spa has done what Spa always does and decided to bring some moisture. So who is going to tough it out and who is going to come in for the wet tires? How bad is the rain? Is it manageable on half worn out medium racing tires? Is it going to be too slippery for these drivers? Ooh, decision time. Jolly Rancher here in 4th place. We got TDC in 5th place. Oh, TDC made a pit stop. Okay, that is why he fell behind. It was not an incident. He made a pit stop. We've got Egon here in 6th place, just 2 seconds in behind. And Ishmael here just getting passed by Egon as well. So what are the GT3 drivers going to opt to do here? Ishmael, we have Ride to Lightspeed 6.6 seconds in behind. Miss Devious is starting to close in a little bit, 10.8. We've got Sheriff here at getting a little bit wide in the wet there, hanging home, but he makes her in 10th place there. And we've got Medic here in 11th position. The wild ride here. Multiclass racing. Yes, a piece of candy. Alright, so Dylan, 4.7 seconds up the road. At one point, he had like a 24-second lead, so I don't know what happened to Dylan. I'm assuming that he made a mistake somewhere. But JP is now on the hunt here. He is 4.4 seconds back and closing. Jay said here, probably no shot at first and second, but anything can happen. With 32-second gap, he's got 22 seconds to the good here right now, so they're really having a hard fight to get up in 3rd place, and ends up getting it due to a pit stop, looks like there. So Jolly Rancher here in 4th place, and TDC in 5th place here in LMPH, and we've got Egon rounding out our LMPH field. So this is designated to have 7 LMPH and 7 GT3s per lobby night. We have room for a couple more teams, I believe, on Monday nights, and we have plenty of room on Tuesday and Thursday nights. And we have drivers that can't race Monday nights, that can race Tuesdays and Thursday nights. They're kind of on standby to see if we can fill up these other lobbies. So if you're interested, registration link is in the pinned comments below here in the chat as well. And that will take you to the Google document that breaks down the whole championship and it tells you everything you need to know. So check it out. If you're interested, jump on in. If you don't have a teammate, that's fine. We will work on pairing everybody up. Let's just race and have some fun. Ride to Lightspeed, he has come on great here tonight. Great pace. He was looking really good in the last championship prototype challenge, but it looks like he has really made some good strides in his pace here. since our prototype championship just about a year ago. Miss Devious here in 9th position, with Sheriff in 10th or 4th in the GT3, and Medic 5th place here in the GT3 class. So even though it's round in the books for these drivers, the way the point system works, you can still catch up. But at the end of the season, there's no prizes awarded, it's just for bragging rights anyways. So it is an all-new point system here too, so the more lobbies we do have, the better read we're going to get on that point system. But you can see the rain is starting to come down in certain parts of the racetrack, a little tiny bit heavier than other parts of the racetrack here as well. So we have not seen that hit 33% moisture yet, so it still is within racing slick range, but it is on the top end of that racing slick range where it can be very hit and miss on grip. If we start to see a little bit of pooling of water anywhere on the racetrack, that is when these guys and gals are going to be in trouble on these racing slicks. As long as the track stays like this, I think they'll probably be okay. You just gotta make some adjustments on our braking and acceleration. Sheriff has come in for a pit stop, and so has Medic, and I'm assuming they're probably thinking about racing wets or intermediate tires here, so they may be seeing something coming on the radar here that the other drivers are just haven't seen or are still pondering. Right, 5.3 seconds is the gap between Dylan and JP. JP is just closing in on 3rd place GT3 driver Miss Devious right now, and we'll have to navigate around her before he can start to try and track down Dylan again. JSET is 38 seconds in behind those two right now, with Jolly Rancher 20 seconds in behind, so we've gained a couple seconds on JSET here in the last lap. TDC is also gaining on Jolly Rancher a little bit here, 19 seconds now, and Egon is gaining on TDC here a little bit as well. So some drivers have opted to make an extra pit stop here today, and some have opted just to tough out this light rain shower that we're seeing here in Spa right now. And it looks like the sun's starting to come back out over the horizon here. It looks like we're starting to see that little bit of hazy cloud cover, and then potentially end this thing in the sun maybe. But that's the random weather model here. That's what I love about it. You just don't know when it's going to happen or if it's going to happen, and it is in the back of the racers' minds the whole race. Is it going to rain? Should I check the weather radar? It's in the back of their minds, and now that we've seen rain in the first round of the season, there's 6 rounds this season, rain can factor into the races. It's a good play on the minds of these drivers even more so. So the random weather really does bring a different dynamic to these championships. It makes them less predictable, which is obviously what we're going for. And you know, some drivers really excel in wet driving over other drivers that maybe excel on them in dry driving. So it can even the playing field sometimes as well. All right, so we got JP now closing in on ride to light speed there. Ooh, just a small little touch between the two cars, tire to tire touch there. No harm, no foul, and they continue moving. Ride the light may potentially be in the 100% sure on that. I can't remember, but we'll verify that in between racing rounds. We got Jolly Rancher here in 4th place. We got TDC here in 5th position. We got Egon in 6th place. We've got Ishmael in 1st place in the GT3 class. And you can see our 2nd place LMPH is just closing in on him here right now. Wave blue flag. We got Ride to Lightspeed coming into pit lane. He is not going to make it on fuel. Oh my, just a little too early of a pit stop there for Ride to Lightspeed. The undercut was great, but he's going to give it all back now with that extra pit stop if the other racers can continue on this one-stop strategy. So unfortunate there for Ride to Lightspeed, as he is going to give up that position to Miss Devious here. However, does he give it up to Sheriff here as well? I think Sheriff would just be getting a lap back from Ride to Light, but I'm not sure. Could be wrong on that. We're just assuming. Sheriff and Medic have had a little bit of a rough race here today. I mean, that's going to happen to the racers. It happens to the best of us on the worst of days. It seems like we all have our moments on the racetrack where we just do not have good races. I've very recently had moments on the racetrack where I have good races. I've had 3 very bad races out of 5 races I've been in the last kind of 4 weeks. So you get stuck in a rut sometimes. And it's hard to get out of it. But you know, you just keep going, and that's all you can do, right? So we got Dylan 8.3 seconds. So Dylan is whatever issue was going on with his Toyota LMPH hypercar there, they seem to have sorted it out. He's starting to open the gap back up on JP here, back up to 8.3 seconds. So JP was potentially in striking distance there for a hot minute, but it seems like Dylan has gotten whatever issue they were dealing with under control there, and he's got that car back up to his race pace. Jay here 37 seconds down the road from JP, and he's got 24 seconds to get to Jolly Rancher, so he just needs to keep it right and tight here for the next 4 minutes. And it'd be a important finish here for him to see in the first round. We've got TDC Gaming here in 5th place. We've got Egon in 6th. We've got Ishmael leading our GT3 class car here, and his teammates currently running in 2nd in LMPH, so that's going to put them in very good contention in the team standings in that part of it as well. We have Miss Devious here in 8th place. She's 17.8 seconds in behind Ishmael at this point. Ride Lightspeed has a 30-second gap to Miss Devious, but still only gone to 3rd place, so it only cost him 1 position there, so having to make the extra pit stop hasn't been all bad, but definitely not 2nd place fighting for the race lead here at the moment. He's going to have a half-second penalty, so barring nothing happens to the drivers up in front of him here, it looks like he should have 3rd place locked down. We've got Sheriff here in 10th, and we've got Medic here in 11th position as well. So the final standings are very important here at the end of these races to make sure we get our screenshots of the special tables that GT7 provides us post-race, because we need to know the lap count of all our drivers, because the lap count is going to be their points this season. So looking like we're going to see a 30-lap race here in round number 1 from our race leader. Looks like we're going to see about 26 from the GT3 cars from our race leaders. So we're going to see 30 points for our race leader here, plus any bonus points as well, plus there's bonus points for 2nd and 3rd place as well. So a little bit, obviously you do get something extra for winning the race. You don't just get the same amount of points as the guy that finished 10 seconds behind you or 20 seconds behind you per se. You do get the bonus points for finishing 1st place, and it's 3 points. So you do get a little bit of a points advantage still for the top 3 finishers. Everybody else from 4th place and down will not receive bonus points. They will just receive lap points. So it still keeps that competitive fight for the podium into place, that integrity into place as well. About 6 months winning this championship under development and figuring out all the logistics and the finer details, just because of the difference between the 2 classes of cars. I had a lot of concerns coming into tonight. The drivers have alleviated those concerns tenfold. Absolutely spectacular job by our racers here, as always. Every championship, every round of racing, these drivers say they come in top notch. Absolutely fantastic stuff. We had a red flag there beginning of the race, but it was a car stuck on the grid, or a false start by a car that caused an incident there. It happens. We see that 2 or 3 times a season. That's nothing out of the ordinary. And I mean, the racing's been fantastic here. It's a little spread out right now, but as these drivers figure each other out, figure the cars out, and hopefully as we add more drivers to the championship, it'll make things a lot more interesting as well. We can try and balance the lobbies out a little differently too. It could get very interesting. But we have all 11 drivers on the track still, and that's a good thing. That is a good thing. Alright, so Dylan managing to hold on to that race lead here. He's got to hold on to it just for a little bit longer. This will be the final lap here, I think, for our racers. So if Dylan can get around to that start-finish line before this timer runs out, he'll actually get a bonus lap in hand, and that'll actually be an additional point for him over the field as well. So it could be... Nope, that's it. The timer has ran out, so it will be a 29-lap race here for our race leaders in the LMPH today. So 29 points on the table for Dylan here, plus 1 point for the pole position. He's got 1 point for fastest lap currently on track, and it's going to be an additional 3 points for his 1st place finish. He's going to stack up an additional 5 points on top of those 29 points, which will give Dylan a 34-point season start. Just like that. Round 1, LMPH goes to Dylan. 0119. Congratulations to Dylan, and showing that prototype dominance still. JP is going to bring it home here in the second place from Race Asylum as well. So great job to JP. That was a great race. He had a shot there for a little bit. He just couldn't quite close the gap. And Jay is going to take that final podium position and that final bonus point here in the LMPH class as he heads around here. And he's actually got the GT3 race leader behind him there as well. So this is going to start to get tricky to navigate because we don't know which car is in which spot at the moment here. So we'll try to catch them all as they come across. Egon came across in 6th place there last time around as well. So Jay is going to take that final podium position here at Spa, and it's going to be Ishmael coming in 1st place for the GT3 class. Looks like Miss Devious and Sheriff are going to be our next drivers across the line here, I think. Yep. All right. Oh, team photo. Love that. There we go. TDC and Jolly Rancher battle right down to the checkered flag there, too. That was great stuff by them. If I was paying attention, I would have caught that. Ride Lightspeed here is going to come around. He is going to finish in 9th position. And where is our boy Medic? All right. There's Medic. Good job out there, Egon. Nice job, buddy. Good job to all the racers. Ride Lightspeed's going to bring it home in P3 for the GT3 class as well. So he is going to lock up that final bonus point for the GT3 cars there. So it'll be an additional bonus point for Ride the Lightspeed for his 3rd place finish there as well. We do not know who the fastest lap for the GT3 class is yet. We'll have to wait to take a look. And we're going to see Medic come through here on lap number 24. So I believe he's only a lap down to the GT3 field here today as well, which is great. So we haven't seen Medic race since the last championship either. So I was glad to see that he is back as well. And let's go take a look at those final results. We do have Dylan with the fastest lap and pole position here, plus 1st place. So it's going to be a good point score for Dylan here tonight. JP is going to take 2nd place with J-Set in 3rd place. The last 2 drivers will lock up those podium bonus points. TDC is going to fall just a little short there in 4th place today, but a great battle to the start-finish line with TT's Jolly Rancher, only separated by half a second at the line. And we've got Egon coming through a lap down to those guys in 6th place here as well. Now, again, it doesn't matter on the position unless you want those bonus points. It's about how many laps you have gotten in today. So let's take a look at our GT3 cars and see what that fastest lap is. Currently, we have Ishmael with a 2:18.667. Miss Davis was there with a 2:18.985. So just to snip it off in 2nd place. Our 3rd place finisher is Ride the Lightspeed here in 9th position, and Sheriff Doofy in 10th, and Medic in 11th. But Sheriff Doofy is going to actually take the fastest lap point in the GT3 class in 4th place there with a 2:17.440. So a little bit of strategy coming from Sheriff Doofy there to take that bonus point away, and that is exactly what we're talking about with this championship, with the change in the points. With the change in the point system, it's going to change the way that the drivers are going to approach the season, the championship, their strategy, because now it's about race lap count. Race lap count matters. It is everything. It's going to change pit strategies. It's going to change the way that the drivers think about their tire choices for the races. It's also going to change the way that a driver that might be having a bad race approaches it. Like Sheriff, he had a tough race today, but the one thing he knew is there's a bonus point for fastest lap there. So if I go in on an extra pit stop, take on a set of soft tires, and push that fast lap, I can get a bonus point out of my not so great race today. And that's exactly what he did. So that's what I'm talking about. That was exactly the type of strategy that we're hoping to see out of this championship, and we're already seeing it in round number 1. So that was beautiful. We had a little bit of rain here today. It wasn't enough to really change things up, I don't think, but great job to all the racers. We had We had 11 drivers on track here today. We still got 3 spots open for the Monday night lobby. We have room for 2 GT3 cars and 1 more LMPH car on Mondays, and we've got room for 7 and 7 on Tuesdays and Thursdays still. And that registration link and all the information for the championship is in that link in the pinned comments in the bottom of the YouTube chat. All right. We did it, chat. We finally got a championship race out there for everybody. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I really appreciate everybody coming in, hanging out with us here tonight. Really appreciate our racers that came in and raced tonight as well. It was tough getting numbers for this championship. Maybe it's because we've just been not live for the last little while. Maybe it's because we just didn't get enough reach out there, or maybe the team aspect played a little bit of a factor in it. We've gotten a little bit of feedback from our community on why some drivers potentially didn't sign up for the championship, and potentially there's a lot of racing going on right now. It could just be some bad timing on my part, but if you're interested, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday night lobbies are still available. You don't have a teammate, totally okay. We will pair you up with somebody in the other class as we start to fill up spots in the lobbies, and we do have 3 Monday night spots still available as well. So we have teams that can race Tuesdays and Thursdays, but because we don't have enough drivers in those lobbies currently, those lobbies aren't running, but the sooner the better. So we have round number 2 next week, and next week should be interesting. We've taken it fairly easy on the racers at the beginning of the season as far as the mandatory tire goes, because we just want them to settle into these high downforce cars first. So we're going to be at Watkins Glen next week for round number 2.
Okay. Just got a message I had to look at there. I apologize, chat.
Congratulations to Dylan, to JP, and to JSET for first, second, and third place in LMPH tonight. And congratulations to Ishmael, TT Misdevious, and Ride the Lightspeed for their first, second, and third place finish in the GT3 class here tonight. So basically what happens now, ladies and gentlemen, that are watching at home, is the drivers have 24 hours from the end of the race. So we're going to call it 11 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow night to file any potential incident reports, and of course that'll head down to our stewarding office, and they will assess those and issue, if any, penalties to the drivers. It looked pretty clean tonight, so I don't know if we're going to see that, but we do have that system in play. From there, if a ticket is filed, the stewards do an assessment. We try to release those assessments within 48 hours after the initial ticket's been filed. Then that allows them to also appeal the decision if they feel like the decision is wrong. If they do decide to appeal, of course, they got to provide new evidence to the appeal. And then that appeal actually goes to an outside official outside of GT45 Gaming altogether. We reach out to another stewarding group from another great organization we work with in the endurance racing side of things, and they handle any appeals that we have. So we try to do everything as fair and efficiently as possible, and then of course we'll get some standings posted on the weekend at the latest, depending on stewarding and incidents and all that stuff for the drivers. So it's going to be very interesting to see. So stay tuned to the socials for some posts on that. And we're going to start kind of getting back to the grind a little bit here at GT45 Gaming, work allowing, and of course streaming software allowing, apparently. But we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Thanks for tuning in for our first of 3 major championships in the 2025 racing season here at GT45 Gaming Motorsports. This is only the first one this season. We have one coming this summer, and we've got a endurance championship coming this winter as well. And we also have a potential mini endurance championship Group 4 coming here this spring as well. So lots going on here, plus our special events, our one-offs, and everything else we got going on here at GT45 Gaming and Ten Tenths Simracing. it's a busy year of racing this year, that's for sure. So we'll get back to a couple open lobby nights a week and look for some late night content, especially. The late night content's probably going to be a little bit easier for me right now than the earlier content, just due to my work schedule. But appreciate you all for hanging out with us. We'll have some podium interviews probably next week. And we're just going to talk to our class winners from each class, each racing night and racing round as well. So I was a little bit slow and laggy myself on getting everything kind of fired up and moving for today. So now that we've ran and we've got number 1 in the books, it is championship season time, and we'll see you guys next Monday for round 2 at Watkins Glen from the Multiclass Championship. But that doesn't mean that's all for this week. Late night content, we're going to be doing some Ghost After Dark probably tomorrow night, and then we will do Open Lobby Wednesday. And then maybe we'll do some more Ghost After Dark Thursday, and then maybe another open lobby for Friday night racing. And then the weekend, well, we'll see what the weekend brings. We just never know what the weekends are going to bring. But appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like and share. If you're new to the channel and you love what you see, there's plenty more to come. Lots of great racing and commentary coming from GT45 Gaming all year long. Hit that subscription button. We appreciate your support. And if you're just here enjoying the content, watching silently, you matter just as much as those hitting the buttons. We thank you. We appreciate you. On behalf of GT45 Gaming, the admin team, and 10 Simracing, we'll catch you in round 2 at Watkins Glen. Ciao for now, everybody.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters. And we ain't got nothing to hide, we move forward like soldiers. You better wake up for the pay stub, or you'll pay up. Don't make love to the game, bruh, fuck the game up. Change up, rearrange stuff to your greatness. Famous for the way up, play the game, bruh.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a